Hey there, I'm Sheryl Goodwin-McGarrah, your go-to guide for life's messy and magical moments. As a farm girl turned single mom, I often wondered what life would look like after my kids were grown. Turns out, it was all about rediscovering and loving myself first. On this podcast, we'll dive into topics that touch the soul, like love, loss, triumphs, and setbacks. So grab your favorite drink and buckle up. Welcome to the Imperfectly Charming Podcast. Welcome to today's episode titled Determination. It's a powerful force, one that drives us to push beyond our limits and conquer challenges we once thought insurmountable. Today, I take you back, 15 years to a time when I said yes to something that seemed nearly impossible for me. My first and last triathlon. The journey was filled with uncertainty, learning, and sheer willpower, especially as someone who couldn't truly swim. Join me as I recount the trials, the training, and the sheer determination it took to dive into those waters and much more. Here we go. Determination. It's what pulls you through to the other side of a lofty goal. It's been 15 years since I did my first and last triathlon. A friend of mine had reached out to me about a local women's triathlon that was a few months away and asked if I would be willing to train and complete with her. I said yes, and then almost immediately had buyer's remorse. What the hell did I just agree to? I can't swim. To set the record straight, I'm able to dog paddle my way in the deep end of a pool, but swimming across the lake, not so much. My friend assured me we would work together on my swimming skills, and we signed up for a 3-month membership to a local gym and pool. In the beginning, we would train together during the weekend since we both had children in school sports and full-time jobs. I was also carrying a full load in my undergraduate degree program. Yikes! Once school was out and sports were wrapping up, we trained hard, usually 6 days most weeks. Once the weather was warmer, we moved from the indoor pool to the lake. My friend gave me pointers, but ultimately it was trial and error. And frankly, my form wasn't the best. And on top of that, I didn't like to submerge my nose underwater. Can you imagine? We also rode miles and miles, training for the bicycle portion. And once we learned the triathlon route, completed a few of those as well. It was tough, and sections of the route were on busy roads, but we were determined to train as hard as we could. We had gone the day before the event to drop off our bikes, sign in, get our race numbers, and listen to speakers talk about endurance and tips about race day. We learned about the many volunteers that would help make our day easy. We also learned about the water angels that would be situated in the lake during the swim portion to help assist and cheer us on. Swimming a half mile across the lake was the portion I felt most apprehensive about due to the lack of swimming ability, but was assured I could use a noodle as a safety measure. The morning of the race, we were to arrive early to get settled, check on our bikes, and walk around the lake to the starting point for the swim, our first leg of the race. As the groups were being called, I was nervous but kept reassuring myself I could do it. Once it was our time, I was able to grab a noodle, get into the water, and we were off. It took me a few minutes to settle into a good routine, but I put the noodle directly under my arms and was able to keep pretty good form, switching from the breaststroke and the side stroke. I was feeling great in the water, making good progress, and could see the shore in the distance when all of a sudden, one of the water angels approached me. She tried to take the noodle from me. What? She told me I didn't want to reach the shore with the noodle and how I wouldn't want my friends and family to see me using a noodle. I told her that they all knew I couldn't swim and they wouldn't care. This devil of a water angel stopped my progress and grabbed the noodle. Almost immediately, both of my legs seized up and started cramping. I was drowning trying to stay afloat. By this time, I was mad and insisted she give it back to me. Reluctantly, she did. I was able to stabilize myself and tried to massage my cramping calves while hanging on for dear life with my noodle. Once somewhat composed, I started again toward shore, trying desperately to get my groove back, and the next thing I knew, the devil was back taking my noodle again and telling me not to get out of the water with the noodle. For the love of. At this point, noodleless, I struggled to shore, legs cramping again, trying to get up the steep incline to find my bike and start the second leg of the race. I was determined to make up some time during the bicycle portion in what I thought was my strongest leg. Mile after mile, pushing myself against the wind on some of the tougher portions. About 3/4 of a mile to the finish line, my tire popped. Are you kidding me? I had to jump off and push my bike to the finish line as the crowd cheered me on. At this point, I had no idea where my friends were and assumed I had fallen way behind, but with determination, started on my third and final leg of the race. Instead of reveling in my accomplishments thus far, I was disappointed in my experience in the water and the popped tire. I lost a little bit of steam, but kept pushing on and came to realize what I had just accomplished. I never ran into my friends again until I crossed the finish line. Also waiting for me with open arms was my dad. He couldn't have been more proud of his baby girl. It didn't matter if I finished first or last. He saw the determination, grit, and courage it took me to persevere. When I think back on the training and commitment, I'm proud of myself. Years later, I often use the experience to get me through other tough challenges. If I could swim across the lake, I could do anything. What gives you the strength and courage to move forward with a dream or goal? Use it to fuel you. Don't let the naysayers stop you from what's in your heart. You can do it. Thank you for tuning in to Determination. Today's story wasn't just about completing a triathlon. It was about overcoming self-doubt, pushing through physical limits, and handling unexpected challenges like a noodle-snatching water angel and a pop tire near the finish line. But beyond the physical feat, it was the emotional journey and the support from my dad that truly defined this experience. His pride in my accomplishment reminded me that the spirit of determination is about doing your best, regardless of the outcome. Remember, every challenge you face is an opportunity to prove to yourself and no one else that with determination you can achieve anything. What challenges are you facing today? How can you harness your determination to overcome them? Carry this story with you as a reminder that you are capable of more than you know. Until next time, keep pushing, keep striving, and let determination lead the way. See you soon. If you love this episode, you won't want to miss my free workbook, 7 Simple Ways to Elevate Your Life. Head over to the imperfectlycharming.com website to snag your copy. And hey, if this podcast resonated with you, do me a favor, like, share, and hit that subscribe button. And until we meet again, shine on, friends.